So recently there's been some big news for the Xenoblade series. As we know, everyone is starting to get their Xenoblade 3 soundtrack, and along with that physical soundtrack there was a note from Takahashi, and the GOAT Xenomirror here has translated that note, and it gives some pretty big hints at the future for Xenoblade. And the full transcript of Takahashi's note reads, "Rather than playing on the defense, going on the offense. Change rather than maintain. This is a stance that I have continued to hold for 30 years. If there is another Xenoblade, it will likely be something vastly different from what came before, in style and in music. I would like to make my next goal something that will betray players' expectations in a good way." So Takahashi is getting a little more bold with the series now that the Klaus arc is over, and he did state once before that Xenoblade 3 was a stopping point for Xenoblade. He never said it was ending, so everyone who thinks Xenoblade is over, don't know where you got that from. Xenoblade 3 is just a stopping point, at least for the Klaus saga. The series isn't over. It's too profitable for Monolith for them to just end it there. So now, and what caught my attention is the part where he said rather than playing on defense, going on the offense. So he's gonna be more aggressive, for lack of a better term, with it. So perhaps he's going to start incorporating more like Gears and Saga stuff, start incorporating like heavier religious and political stuff like Gears and Saga, instead of like playing it safe because, you know, it's Nintendo. So I mean, Monolith has more than proved themselves to be a very important asset for Nintendo, so maybe they're more willing to let Monolith be more mature with Xenoblade, so they could be incorporating a lot more Gears and Saga themes, or themes related to Gears and Saga, probably Gears, since, you know, that's where everything started at, and we haven't really seen anything from Gears. And, you know, the rest of the series is based off of Gears and the Perfect Work story. So this was very big news, at least for me, because the next Xenoblade game will be very different from what we expect. So a lot of people were hoping that Xenoblade 4 will build upon Xenoblade 3 and like the rejoined world. I was never a big fan of that. I wanted Xenoblade 4 to be completely different, separated from the Klaus saga and all the characters we've learned to love over the years. I want something completely new, and it looks like that is what's going to happen. So if it takes more inspiration from Gears, I'm going to be very happy about that, because although I haven't really played Gears yet, I do like the darker and more mature story of Xenosaga, which is similar to Gears with the whole political and religious themes. So I like the deeper, like darker story. So hopefully we'll see something like that with Xenoblade 4. But that's really about it. Not too much, just that little note and what it could mean for the series. So hopefully, starting from Xenoblade 4, if there is a Xenoblade 4 or X2, whatever the next Xenoblade is going to be very different from, you know, the rest of the series and what came before. So my guess is that it's going to be a lot more mature and darker, just like Xenogears, going back to his roots. Because just like he said, this is a stance I have continued to hold for 30 years. So ever since way back making Gears, he still held on to this, and maybe he's finally able to continue telling the story of Perfect Works the way he wants to. Obviously not exactly, because it's been 30 years and Gears is owned by Square, but he can more closely follow the story of Perfect Works in Xenoblade now that he doesn't have to be so restrictive and family friendly, I guess. But yeah, that's really about it. Just super exciting news. So it just makes me even more excited to see where Xenoblade will go from here, since it has been growing in popularity a lot. It's got a lot of eyes on it, so they have more chances to do what they want with the series. So I'm gonna be here for all of it, like y'all know I will. But yeah, that's really about it. So see you next mission and play some goddamn Xenoblade.